forever here. Oh, the skies have opened up. It's like snowing. So this might be a part 2 of the first spiritual journal flow if I decide to post it. But I just want to be raw, vulnerable, express, and encourage other people to do the same, and in hopes of healing. Man, I've seen this Men in Black, and every time I see this Men in Black in a psychic vision, black suit, white shirt, and then black tie, and it's like breaking my arm breaking. It kind of hurts. It's like an energetic pain. It sucks. And then there's like anxiety. It's almost like the pain becomes sacred medicine. So if like I'm being spiritually attacked, it's like healing. Maybe not. Maybe it's just getting in the way. Yeah. But I kind of wanted to talk about my experience with attachment, which I was talking about in my last video, and how this person that's courted with me, giving me her patterns, and kind of draining my energy at times, or even giving me energy. And even her giving me some of her joy and other energy, it still gets in the way of like my patterns and what I want to do. She literally posted a video talking about umbilical cord attachments from other people and taking on other people's patterns and how it's a bad thing, which she's in total denial of that shadow of her doing that. And she doesn't want to see that that's what she's doing. And her ego's doing all this effort to ignore me, to make it so that I can't even communicate with her anymore, except telepathically and energetically. And I wouldn't be going through this for a reason. I still love this person. I still feel like this is a destined relationship. But she's treating me very unfairly. And I don't like how she gets to make YouTube videos and get all these views and praise from people and act like this badass spiritual teacher, telling people, pretty much making fun of people that are doing this or dogging on people when she herself is doing it. And that's an important lesson, because that's what people do. When someone's insecure or has a shadow aspect that they're in denial of, they'll project that shadow onto other people. And that's exactly what she's doing. That's actually a teaching of Carl Jung, which was a psychologist which talked about shadow. And when people are in denial of their shadow, they project that onto other people through like judgment. Like if someone's like unhappy about them being fat or unhealthy, and they may have lost a lot of weight, but they still have that hatred towards themselves or that unresolved shadow, they'll see other people that are fat or unhealthy, and then they'll just like project that judgment onto them and that hate onto them, and pretty much demean and be like, oh, you're stupid because you aren't doing the work and this and that. And I've totally seen this from this person. There was this time I was in Michigan walking along the beach, and I'm just looking at people and I'm just like judging them like, oh, these people are unhealthy, this and that. And I'm thinking like, what the fuck? I don't think this. This doesn't feel like me. And at the same time, she was in the beach in Virginia, probably walking up and down the beach thinking that about people on the beach, and I was tuned in and taking on that pattern. Right? Isn't that funny? No, it's not funny. That's a good... She's a teacher in a way, teaching me that, teaching us that. Or that's a good example of shadow and projecting your shadow onto other people. And I hope other people watch this and recognize this, and it encourages her to face that shadow that she's avoiding and then projecting onto other people at my expense, giving me her unresolved patterns, draining my energy, and then making a video pretty much demeaning people for doing that, because that's her judging that shadow or avoiding that she has that shadow. And maybe it's not even really about that. It's just the avoidance of communication with me, admitting wrongdoing, and facing me in opening her heart and expressing her feelings to me. Because if she did that, it would surface all of this shit, and it would bring out the worst in her. And in her video, she was talking about like, oh, it's this synergistic radiance, people bringing out the best in you. And it's like, that's another way that the shadow keeps itself unconscious and avoids itself, is saying exactly that. Oh, if someone's bringing out the worst in you, it's because you need to not be around that person, and that's not synergistic radiance. Bullshit. That's synergistic healing. That's surfacing all your wounds, all your emotional shit, and causing you to face it. But your shadow just wants to hide. You're saying this in your video, right? So instead of judging and projecting and saying, oh, that's bad when that happens, accept that your higher self manifests people in your life that trigger you, to make you feel certain feelings, to mature those emotions, and to heal yourself from those shadows, to make it conscious. Instead of running away and saying, oh, it's all these other people's yucky energies draining me, giving me their patterns. It's like, maybe you're feeling their patterns, but they're in alignment with your unresolved patterns, and they're trying to get you to be conscious and to show that shadow that is hiding. But then that shadow comes out, and it's like, that's other people's crap. I got to command this, and other people are after me. Instead of taking responsibility, why am I experiencing this? This is life review. In this moment now, life is showing me something. What is life saying? Oh. Or life is saying, endure, strengthen yourself. Everything's for your highest growth. Or your lighthouse, helping anchor in the light and elevate the collective, because you're under contract to do that. You think your guides, your archangels behind your shoulders would let other people's shit get you if it wasn't meant to? No. Right? You don't even have to sit there and put up an energetic shield. You just have to know that your energetic field is strong, and you set out intention and radiate energy, and your spirit guides wouldn't let anyone else's shit come into your conscious reality if it wasn't meant to be. You know? And maybe it's just the law of one, you know, like I learned in college, water moves to lower concentrations of water. So energy might not be quite as different, you know. So, yeah. Cow Forever here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me get this out. I hope that it encourages you to get your stuff out, to make you feel not as alone, because we're all one on one level. We all share the same emotions. Whether it's the same circumstances or not, it's still the same emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, right? And I feel like this is for my highest growth. I don't like taking on this person's tears, this person's sadness, even this person's joy at times, because it seems to not be in coherence with my physical reality. But I trust that I'm getting to know this person on a deep soul level, that I'm synergistically healing this person, and me also synergistically being healed and strengthened, and that it wouldn't be like this if it wasn't meant to be like this. But I feel like I needed to express, like, hey, that's classic Carl Jung, you projecting your shadow onto other people in your YouTube video and acting like a spiritual teacher. I'm not saying that you're not a spiritual teacher, because you are, but you gotta own your shit, because you're saying, like, oh, I don't want to take on other people's yucky energies and be drained, but you're draining me and giving me your yucky energies and patterns, and I don't like it, and it's getting in the way of me in what I'm trying to do with my life. And then then you talk about, synergistic radiance and bringing out the best in people, and it's like, okay, maybe that's how it is for you, but for me, I feel all this draining, yucky energy from you, and it's making it next to impossible for me to really progress forward with my life, let alone this unresolved thing for the reasoning of this attachment still being here in this way. So you're just avoiding resolving this attachment at my expense, which is very unloving, which is exactly what the shadow would do, right? Which is very unfair to me. It's not very nice. You're kind of mean. That's a mean thing to do. Like, this person is very mean to me, but I'm like a child, right? Unconditional and forgiving, because I know, people know not what they do. I don't take things personally. And maybe that's my autistic mind, which I think autism is evolution and something so beautiful. Maybe it's just because I have a good heart and I'm wise and an elder. Kyle Forever here. Thanks for listening. Look at this kitty waiting for me to open the door. You want to go inside, Renee? Hey, kitty. Let's dog on people for having stimulant addictions. This is self-love right now, right? This is self-love. Let's not judge other people. That's shadow projection, blatant and obvious. Thanks for teaching me, right? You're one of my greatest teachers, right? Kyle Forever here. I hope this makes sense. Peace.